Now, there is another way of oversampling, that would be to replicate the zeros and the ones, okay, as many times as you need to achieve the same proportions like what we did before. And the Caret library has so it's called upsampling and downsampling from Caret library. Okay. So it's part of Caret library. Upsampling creates duplicate cases at random, either from the, so you have the zeros and ones, it will duplicate the ones to come up to the same level of zeros, or it will duplicate the zeros to come up to the level of ones. Okay, so that's what upsampling and downsampling is. So let's look at an example here. Now, we'll start from the beginning. So we have to, again, first we will create the train, okay, and then we'll create the valid set, put the valid set aside, and then we want to oversample the train set. Okay, and here again I'm going to introduce a new way of partitioning, and that is easier and quicker. Okay, so partitioning using the Caret library has a function, so that creates the rows. So train rows is if you use create data partition. Okay, so you don't have to say sample and sequence and all that. So just say create data partition, and then you give the response variable. So what is the response variable here? It is response, overs.df response. Okay, and then you specify what percentage you want in train. So that's your P. What proportion of rows you want to go into train. So if you put 1 here, everything will go into train. If you put 0.1, it will 10% will go to train. So let's say we want 70%. And then this is important here because for some reason this one creates the rows as a list. Then it becomes really very difficult to use, or you need to go through some more steps. So you have to say list equal to false. So this will be simply a vector. Okay, and then let's call it train. Okay, we'll call it train 3. Okay, train 3 is over.df train rows, all columns, and then we say valid3.df is overs.df minus train dot rows column. Okay. So now this is going to set up our train 3 and the validate 3. So we'll put the validate 3 aside. Now validate 3 is at the same rate. There's no oversampling. So no weights, no adjusting of reweighting or anything like that. So now train, we want to change the proportion. Okay, so let's first look at how many. Okay, so we're going to do table train 3 dot df response. Oh, I have only train 3 here. I need to put df. Okay, train 3 df response. Okay, and then copy paste that, and then say prop train prop table. oops. Okay. Okay, so that's the proportion right now. Okay. Now we want the zeros and ones to be the same proportion, 50-50 for oversampling, right? So let's do upsampling first.